Polkadot went up 20% in one day. Today we're going to find out why that happened exactly and why I believe that actually might continue to happen in the future. In this video we're going to talk about what is Polkadot exactly, what are parachain auctions, and what you can do now to take advantage of this hype. My name is Wiebe from Nesami, and before we're going to talk about the parachain auctions, I want to talk a little bit about what Polkadot is exactly, just in case you don't really know what Polkadot is at this very moment in time. So what I often do is I compare Polkadot to this spider web, if you will, of different blockchains, because Polkadot is going to be the layer 0 network, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later on as well, what the layer 0 means. But the layer 0 network is connected to all of these layer 1 blockchains. Now if you look at this image over here, Polkadot is basically everything in the middle, everything that you can see over here. And these things at the edges are the so-called parachains. There are going to be 100 parachains that are going to be built on top of Polkadot in the next couple of years, basically. So let's see how that is going to go. Polkadot can be seen a little bit like the blockchain of blockchains. It is connecting multiple blockchains with each other, but who actually builds Polkadot? That is a very good question. Well, you can see the man right over here in the middle. He is Gavin Wood, and you might actually know the name if you are a little bit into the Ethereum space, because Gavin Wood was actually the one who coded Ethereum in just a couple of days on his own. I believe it was just within a few weeks, or within a week, or even within a few days. And yeah, that's pretty impressive, because if you look at Polkadot right now, well, Polkadot has been under construction for about 5 years right now, with an entire team of Gavin Wood, but also of multiple other people coding Polkadot all the way. And yeah, it's very interesting to see that Ethereum was built in such a short amount of time, but Polkadot has been built over a 5 years time. So as I've mentioned before, Polkadot is a layer 0 network, and on top of Polkadot, other layer 1 blockchains can be built, and these layer 1 blockchains can build applications on top of their own blockchains, of course. Quite a little nice burn over here to Ethereum. Ethereum is a layer 1 equivalent to one Polkadot parachain. So it's yeah, kind of interesting to see this kind of burn towards Ethereum. Because the thing is, what I find very interesting about the Polkadot ecosystem is that usually you have all these separate blockchains, all these layer 1 blockchains, and yeah, these blockchains are basically operating on themselves. They are not really cooperating with other blockchains. So what Polkadot is trying to do is they are trying to connect all these layer 1 blockchains with each other, so they can actually communicate between each other and provide value to each other as well. And this cooperation between blockchains, as we can see, is called cross-chain interoperability. So basically that means that all the blockchains that are going to be built on top of Polkadot are going to be able to communicate with each other. And there is another very interesting advantage for parachains, for layer 1 blockchains, to be building on top of Polkadot, because there is a so-called plug-and-play blockchain security. The Polkadot network, the Polkadot layer 0 network, has its own security, and this security can be shared with all the layer 1 blockchains that are going to be built on top of Polkadot. So before I'm going to talk about why this is also important, I want to talk a little bit about the parachain auctions, because just a few days ago, Polkadot announced they were going to have these parachain auctions in about 1 month from now, on the 11th of November. But just a little bit about the parachain auctions, because as you've seen this picture before, as we talked about this picture at the beginning of this video, I was comparing Polkadot a little bit with a spider web, right? Because I see Polkadot as this system in the middle over here, connecting all these blockchains with each other, and all these things on the edges of these are going to be the parachains. There is going to be place for about 100 parachains in total, and for each of these parachains there is going to be a so-called auction. So these parachains have to win the auction in order to reserve their spot on the Polkadot network. So how are these layer 1 blockchains going to win their parachain slot on the Polkadot ecosystem exactly? Well, they can do so in 2 different ways. First of all, they can simply bid with their own account with a single amount of money if they have a very large amount of Polkadot in their own wallets. But that is quite unlikely, especially at this very stage in the process in the ecosystem of Polkadot. So the most likely option is option number 2. And option number 2 is to host a so-called crowdloan. This is kind of like a crowdfunding process to crowdsource the funds to use this as the auction bid. So basically the layer 1 blockchain that has the highest bid available at a certain amount of time, we're going to talk about that in a second, that layer 1 blockchain is going to win the parachain auction. So these crowd loans are very interesting because this is a little bit like crowdfunding. The community needs to get involved and the community needs to contribute their tokens to a layer 1 blockchain so that they can win a parachain slot. By the way, let me know in the comments which project you are going to support during these parachain auctions. So what happens exactly during one of these crowd loans? Well, what happens is, first of all, you need to contribute your DOT tokens to a certain project. Then the DOT tokens are going to be locked for a certain amount of time. This can be anywhere from 6 months all the way up to 2 years, and 2 years is actually the most common period that is being used. And while these DOT tokens are locked up, you are going to earn crypto rewards from the project that you have been contributing your DOT tokens to. And then after a certain amount of time, so after these 6 months to 2 years time, you are going to get your DOT tokens back. Now, in the case of Polkadot, there's first going to be a batch of 5 different parachain auctions. The thing is, if a certain project does not win a parachain slot during the first parachain auction, then they're going to be using the money again for the second parachain auction. And if they don't win that one, they're going to go to the third, and then to the fourth, and then to the fifth. If after these 5 parachain auctions, the project still has not won, then you are going to get your money back. You're going to get your DOT tokens back. So how long does one of these parachain auctions last exactly? Well, the entire parachain auction lasts for 7 days per auction. And the thing is, one parachain auction is split up into 2 different periods. First of all, you have a 2-day warm-up period, if you will, and then you're going to have your ending period of 5 days time. And during this ending period, there is going to be a so-called candle auction. The thing is, no one really knows when the parachain auction is going to end, or at least during the parachain auction, no one knows when it is going to end. But after the parachain auction ends, so after these 7 days have been ended, then they're going to reveal at what time point during this ending period the parachain auction has actually been ended. And at that point, they're going to determine, okay, who has the most amount of DOT tokens right now locked up, who has the most amount of crowd loans at this very moment in time, and that project is going to win the parachain slot. Here we can see the schedule for the parachain auctions on Polkadot. First of all, we're going to have batch number 1. As I've mentioned, there are going to be 5 parachain auctions during this batch. The first auction in the first batch is going to start on November 11th. So just in a few weeks' time, in about 4 weeks' time as I'm recording this video. And as I've mentioned, this is going to last for 1 week. And then auction 2 is going to start, also going to last for 1 week. Then auction number 3, auction number 4, auction number 5. Auction number 5, the last day is going to be on December 16th. And then a day after, so December 17th, all the 5 different parachains are going to be onboarded on the Polkadot ecosystem at once. Then a few days later, we're going to start with batch number 2. And during batch number 2, we're going to have 6 parachain auctions. So auction number 6 all the way up to auction number 11. The auction number 6 is going to start on December 23rd. And that is actually going to last for 7 days. Then you're going to have 7 days of a break, if you will. Then another 7 days of parachain auctions, 7 days break, etc., 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 all the way up to March 10th. That is the day when the bidding is going to end for auction number 11. And then on March 11th, all these 6 parachain auctions during this batch number 2 are going to be onboarded onto the Polkadot ecosystem. Now you might wonder, why is this all so important? Why do I need to know about this stuff? Well, the thing is, people want to join crowd loans to get those rewards we have been talking about. To get to, or to join these crowd loans, of course, you need DOT tokens. So then you're going to buy DOT tokens. And when everyone starts buying more and more DOT tokens, the demand for Polkadot is going to go up, so the price probably goes up as well. The thing is, a very interesting thing in my opinion is, well, if you look at Polkadot right now, if you look at the market cap is almost $40 billion, which definitely is not very low. But if you compare to Ethereum, the market cap of Ethereum is more than 11 times as big compared to Polkadot. A lot of people are comparing Polkadot with Ethereum. I'm not entirely sure if that is a fair comparison, because Ethereum has been built out way more right now than Polkadot has been at this very moment. But I do believe that Polkadot is going to be a very good, well, almost like competitor to Ethereum in a few years' time when all these parachain auctions have been completed, when all the parachains have been onboarded onto the Polkadot ecosystem. At the same time, Polkadot doesn't really compete with Ethereum because it's more like everything is working together. As we've seen before, Ethereum could even be a layer 1 on top of Polkadot, and they're very likely going to create a so-called bridge between the Ethereum network and the Polkadot ecosystem. So what do you need to do right now at this very moment in time? Well, the first thing you need to do, if you are still staking your DOT tokens or if you are bonding your DOT tokens at this very moment, you need to unstake your DOT tokens. You need to unbond your DOT tokens. If you don't really know what that means, it probably doesn't apply to you. I've just been doing this a while ago, an hour ago or 2 hours ago. I was actually staking DOT tokens and I was getting rewards, staking rewards from that. But I've now unstaked my DOT tokens. I've unbonded them, and now I'm going to be needing to wait for about 4 weeks in order to be able to contribute to these parachain auctions. So you might wonder, how can I participate in one of these crowd loans? Well, I'm going to make a future video on that because right now this video is already going to be long enough. So definitely make sure to subscribe if you want to be notified about this video, about these crowd loans. In the meantime, you can also follow Dan Reeser on Twitter, for example. He is the VP of Growth at Acala and Karura, and they are actually very likely going to win the first parachain auction on Polkadot. Dan Reeser is posting a lot on Twitter about the Polkadot ecosystem and about crowd loans, about parachain auctions. So if you need more and clear information, you can definitely go over there onto his Twitter page. Now you might wonder why I believe that Acala is going to win the very first parachain auction on Polkadot. Well, the thing is, they also won the very first parachain auction on Kusama. Kusama is like a sister network of Polkadot. It's called the Canary Network. It's a little bit like a test network, but it's still operating in the real world, in real life situations. And the thing is, most parachains first are going to launch on Kusama to test their network, and then they're also going to launch on Polkadot. So the numbers or the names that are on the screen right now, these projects have won the very first 5 parachain auctions on Kusama, so Karura, Moonriver, Shiden, Acala, and Bifrost. And these also have sister networks that are going to be very likely launching on Polkadot as well. So the sister network of Karura is going to be Acala, the sister network of Moonriver is going to be Moonbeam, etc., etc., etc. So my question for you is, who are you going to support during the crowd loans for the Polkadot Parachain auctions? Let me know in the comments. And of course, also let me know in the comments if you have more questions about the Polkadot ecosystem and about these parachain auctions. If you haven't watched this video yet about Karura and Acala, definitely do so. And if not, well, I would like to thank you for your time, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye!